baby booties on the brain, but your own booty on the line. Thus begins Heidi Murkoff's prenatal dance fitness video, Baby Bump Boot Camp, Barefoot and Pregnant. So with this leading question, Murkoff reminds mothers-to-be that when it comes to pregnancy, looks count. Reducing complex phenomenologies to a superficial lamina, she suggests that experiences of pregnancy can be collapsed to balancing one's attention between mooning over baby accoutrement and upkeep of one's figure. But fortunately, she has designed a back to basics booty kicking workout that will prepare mamas-to-be for better booties postpartum. In a similar line, for her prenatal dance fitness video, Denise Austin promises to keep mamas fit and firm throughout their pregnancies so that they can get into those great bikinis later. So, while these kinds of offers of visible results typify the jargon of fitness videos in general, what's oddly absent from the promises of either of these instructors is how these classes are designed for pregnant bodies and their immediate needs. So by focusing on future possibilities of great bikinis and shapely booties, the videos absent the immediate and visceral bodies performing the choreographies. And the videos thereby evoke a complex and paradoxical corporeality for pregnant participants in which their pregnant bodies become the obstacles rather than the vehicles in their efforts towards somatic mobilization and self-care. So Murkoff's and Austin's are but two of tens of thousands of dance fitness videos currently posted online for pregnant women's easy access. And like these two examples, most such videos prioritize the aesthetics of the body, and they teach that pregnant forms are aberrant and in need of reformation. The exercise videos incite semiotic ambiguity between bellies that protrude because of a fetus and bellies that protrude because of fat, and suggest that both of these bodies are out of shape. But thank goodness, dance exists to help get these bodies back in shape. So for my research, I studied the most viewed YouTube videos for the keyword search prenatal dance. And I looked for commonalities in content and strategies by which instructors overtly or subtly train pregnant participants to understand themselves and their embodiment through the language by which dance routines are taught. So the most popular videos at the time that I was doing my research were by Denise Austin, Kira Lachey, and Heidi Murkoff. And while I reviewed many others in the YouTube queue, I'll refer to these top three by name for this particular paper. So just some general findings. Consistently in these videos, which I remind you are made specifically for pregnant participants, the non-pregnant, toned, and disciplined body is privileged choreographically. So consequently, pregnant bodies are portrayed as lesser and as other, and experiences of potential physical competence are thereby recast as experiences of disability. Although these videos provide participants with brief windows of reprieve in which to amuse themselves with playfully exotic or erotic dances that emphasize their curves, overall, the videos teach that pregnancy is not an experience to savor, embrace, or identify with, and that dance should primarily be used during pregnancy to bring order to an otherwise disorderly body and to minimize the damage later. So the content of most of these videos would really better be described as dance-themed aerobics, because there's a kind of dance veneer that's put on a workout, mostly through the instructor telling participants to look like dancers while you're exercising. So what qualifies as a dancerly appearance is determined largely by references to the instructor's own ethnicity and social class. So for instance, according to Murkoff, a dancing body looks easy breezy, light and lean, graceful, and beautiful. The videos distance participants from their immediate sensory experiences and physical agency by encouraging them to focus not on the bodies that they have and how those bodies feel, but rather on how those bodies look, and more importantly, how they do not look, how they cannot look, but how they should look. So participants must focus on the bodies that they want to have once they have transcended the body somehow thrust upon them by pregnancy. So in her essay, Pregnant Embodiment, philosopher Iris Marion Young discussed the doubling of self that happens as women recount their pre-pregnancy bodies and compare their present experiences to what they would be were they not pregnant. Now with prenatal dance fitness, there's a kind of tripling of self as women are encouraged to compare past and present bodies, but also to fear the potential disorder of their future body. And this prevents women from appreciating the legitimacy and verity of their immediate experiences of themselves. So Young's discussion of doubling builds on the ideas she put forth in an earlier essay, Throwing Like a Girl, in which she argued that feminine embodiment is an experience of disunity with oneself and an inability to escape a sense of oneself as something seen. She built upon Simone de Beauvoir's argument that as long as women live within a patriarchy, they are forced to relinquish their existential right to transcendence and must accept lives of immanence in which they are imprisoned within themselves, within their domestic spaces, and within their repetitive lives. And Young added on that the modalities of feminine bodily comportment and the way that women move their bodies through space and time exhibit the tension that women feel as they are stretched between immanence and transcendence, or as she said, between experiences of subjectivity and feeling like an object. So she dissected the phenomenology of femininity for women, at least those who shared her socioeconomic, global and cultural status, into three conditions. One, ambiguous transcendence, never feeling that they can fully act on the world because their bodies get in the way. Two, inhibited intentionality, feeling that every intended action is accomplishable, but somehow beyond their personal powers. And three, discontinuous unity, feeling at one neither with their environment nor with themselves. She further submitted that all of these female conditions become self-fulfilling as women believe them and consequently are less physically assertive, increasingly distrustful of their bodies, and consequently more reliant on outside assistance. So in response to Young, I proposed that pregnant embodiment, especially experiences of the pregnant dancing body, could potentially upend each of these limiting components of feminine embodiment by providing experiential evidence of how bodies coordinate themselves to independently complete substantial physical undertakings, such as growing and birthing a human. However, if women in their process of self-doubling and tripling opt to identify with non-pregnant bodies during their pregnancies, as they are indeed encouraged to do in these prenatal dance fitness videos, they risk not only missing some of the somatic insights that pregnancy could provide, but also allowing ambiguous transcendence, inhibited intentionality, and discontinuous unity to permeate their experiences of their pregnant body and their larger self. In prenatal dance videos, there is a consistent emphasis on the way that pregnant bodies limit what women could be doing. The classes encourage discontinuous unity and decentered subjectivity by teaching that in pregnancy, the body is in a mode of not being itself. For prenatal dance fitness instructors like Murkoff, Austin, and Lachey, it seems important to emphasize that their pregnant bodies are not their real bodies. Instructors who are pregnant in the recording stress repeatedly the temporariness of their heavy asymmetrical forms. And sometimes before a routine, as we see here, there's a still shot of the instructor slim and toned pre-pregnancy. And throughout the videos, promises are frequently made that post-delivery, they're going to fix that body and recover their real chiseled physique. As Lachey reassures her students and herself, her first priority postpartum will be getting that body right back together. And those instructors who are not pregnant in their videos often wear very tight clothing or crop tops, demonstrating the body that they got back. The choreography itself discourages identification with the pregnant body by emphasizing how it limits women's ability to dance. Instead of offering routines designed specifically for the needs, abilities, and comfort and interests of pregnant bodies, the choreography is taught as simplified versions of seemingly existing routines, which were seemingly originally crafted for non-pregnant bodies. So squeezing pregnant bodies into prefabricated routines requires modifications of everything, seemingly reductions of what women ought to be able to do. So with the repeated emphasis on modifications, instructors suggest that dance as an activity is for fully abled women, which pregnant women are not. Underscoring this idea that pregnant bodies are somehow lesser, prenatal dance fitness videos tend to be tagged with descriptions like, quote, for pregnant women and/or beginners. They discount that women will be entering their pregnancies at different levels of fitness by rendering all pregnant women beginners. By unnecessarily placing these classes on a larger abstract spectrum, participants are informed that their bodies are not capable of doing the real, unmodified workouts, which are reserved for more advanced, better bodies. Also, to account for pregnancy brain, women are reassured often in these videos that they will be easy to follow, basic, and/or won't make them think too hard. So paradoxically, the combined states of pregnancy and dance, when understood through the prenatal dance fitness paradigm, exacerbate women's feelings of ambiguous transcendence and inhibited intentionality. Participants learn that while they should dance for their physique, their future physique, they cannot possibly do it successfully, correctly, or completely, but only as beginners or persons otherwise unable to perform at full capacity. Thus, pregnant female bodies, arguably at the height of their biological powers, are in full irony, conceptually reorganized to represent a delicate, clumsy condition of physical and cognitive feebleness and/or incompetence. So I'm going to skip a little bit through my paper, but I then move into how these videos also playfully exoticize and, exoticize and eroticize the body, gesturing towards soft primitivism and also suggesting that pregnant bodies outside of the space of make-believe would not have a relationship with their sexuality or sensuality. So, in the context of prenatal dance fitness, dance roots female participants more stubbornly in experiences of laden, frustrated imminence and performances of normative gendered self. By emphasizing systems of evaluation that prioritize visuality, dance instructors negate and devalue women's own experiences and competencies, thereby moving women farther away from trust in their own bodies. According to Young, we will understand something new and valuable when we can become aware of ourselves as body and take an interest in the sensations and limitations for their own sake, experiencing them as a fullness rather than as a lack. If dance and pregnancy are to be part of liberated female embodied experiences, then we must examine the limiting ideologies that weaken them so that we can make space to discover new systems of self-knowledge through the body. For prenatal dance to offer something new and valuable to prenatal wellness, it must allow the sensations of pregnant bodies to inspire its choreographies. And it must move away from familiar aesthetics and towards fresh attention. Its language must be reconsidered so as to invite perceived bodily imminence to be re-experienced as transcendence and vibrant, present, able embodiment. Thank you.